mathematicians. Today we are going to talk about the distributive property. First, we're going to talk about parts of an expression. Those are the pieces that are included. Okay? If a term has a variable, okay, we call them variable terms. So if they have x's, they are variable terms. So those would be 7x, negative 5x, and 4x. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So here this coefficient would be 7. What's the next one? Negative 5. And the last one? 4. Constant terms then are the pieces that did not have a variable. So for instance, positive 3. What would be the next one? Positive 8. And lastly, negative 1. When it comes time to combining like terms, we can only combine terms that are the same. Okay? If they have a common variable or if they don't have one. So these ones could be combined together. These ones could be combined together. So they have to have like terms to be able to go together. So here, if I'm going to simplify, I'm going to put together the pieces that match. So 7x, what goes with 7x? Negative 5x, and lastly, plus 4x. So if I combine those together, 7 and negative 5, plus 4, 2x, 6x. And then lastly, put together our pieces that don't have a variable. 3 plus 8 minus 1, positive 10. These two cannot go together because this one has an x, this one does not. So if you're going to simplify these, put together the pieces that match. What goes with 6a? Plus 2a, and that gives us 8a. Can anything go with 4b? No, so I just keep plus 4b there. Nothing can go with it. Can these two go together? Why not? One has an a, one has a b. They're not the same. When I look at number 2, they all have a b, but some of them have b squared. B and b squared are different terms. I can only put together the b squared. So if I put those two together, we are left with 1b squared. 6b minus 2b gives us positive 4b. These cannot go together because b squared and b are different terms. Flip over. Next, we're going to simplify using the distributive property. The distributive property allows us to get rid of parentheses. So I'm going to distribute this a to both terms. So when I do that, this would be a times b and a times c. Bring down the plus sign. I'll do the same thing here, distribute, but what's different? There'll be a minus in between, so a times b and a times c, but there'll be a minus there. So make sure to distribute or multiply it by both pieces. So for number 1, what are we going to distribute? The 2. So 2 times 4 and 2 times y. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times y, positive 2y. I knew it was positive because it was a positive here. Can these two pieces go together? No, why not? One has a y, one does not. What's different about number 2? The 9 is behind. We're going to distribute the same way, only backwards. So go ahead and do number 2 on your own. Let's see how you did. 9 times g, and what's next? 9 times negative 5. 9 times g, 9 times negative 5, negative 45. Nice job. For number 3, there are 3 distributes that we have to do. I'm going to distribute 5 to all 3 pieces. So 5 times 6m cubed, 5 times 4n, and lastly, 5 times negative 3n. A minus 3n is the same as a negative 3n. I'm going to multiply those numbers. 5 times 6 is 30m cubed. 5 times 4, positive 20n. 5 times negative 3, negative 15n. What do you notice that we can still do? Combine these. 30m cubed plus 5n. You also, if you notice, could have combined those first. That would give you the exact same answer. Try number 4 on your own. Let's see how you did. What did you distribute in number 4? A negative 6. So we will have negative 6 times 2. Negative 6 times negative d squared. Be careful there. And negative 6 times d. Negative 6 times 2. Negative 12. Here, be careful. You have a negative times a negative, so that makes positive 6d squared. And negative 6d is just negative 6d. Can any of those go together? Nope. So that's your final answer. Number 5 and 6, there's extra pieces involved here. So the first thing you have to do is ignore this piece at the end and get rid of those parentheses by distributing. So I'm going to distribute this 8 to both terms. 8 times 2x, and what else? 8 times negative 3. Don't forget there is also this minus 6x at the end. 8 times 2x, 16x. 8 times negative 3, negative 24. And also don't forget there's this minus 6x just hanging out at the end. Now that I have those parentheses gone, now I can combine like terms. I could not combine before because these pieces had to be distributed first. So if I combine the x's, 16x and negative 6x make 10x minus 24 is your final answer. So distribute and then combine any extra pieces at the end. Number 6, how many distributions are we going to have? 2, because there are 2 parentheses. So the first one, you are going to distribute a 9. What do you distribute the next set of parentheses? A -2. So you need to do 2 distributions and then combine like terms. Try this one on your own. Let's see how you did. 9 times 2k and 9 times -4. 9 times 2k is 18k. 9 times -4, -36. That's our first one. What about our second? -2 times 7k and -2 times -12. What did you get from this one? -14k and +24. Be careful on your signs there. Could you combine any pieces? Yes, 18k and -14k make 4k. And what else? -36 and 24, -12. Can these pieces go together? Nope. One has a k, one does not. So that's your final answer. So be careful, 2 distributions, combine like terms. Nice job today, mathematicians.